Daddy Freeze.
How are you doing, brother?
Good.
Hope you're good.
Yeah.
You're looking very
Fine.
fresh, Felix. What's the secret?
Daddy Freeze. We just be. We just want to be happy, live free. That's the only thing. We don't let anything bother us. We're always happy. I mean, we think about the positive things of life. I mean, there are so many negatives. We just try as much as possible.
But you're too fresh. You say you be bus conductor at one point. It's doing me not to believe you.
Yeah, Daddy Freeze. Everybody, everyone has got their story. Everyone has got their story. With respect to so many things in life. Even if today, very much we're talking about we're looking, that's what drove me even into IT and some of the things that we'll still talk about today. Sometimes I come from a large family. And when I mean large, we're 8. And my late father is a retired soldier, and so he retired from Ibadan quite young. And when I was in my university, I think that was my 200 level or thereabouts. I mean, things really got tough. Then we're in Lagos, where things got tough. As an undergraduate, it wasn't easy to pay fees. Unfortunately, or somehow, we were on break at school. And when you come home and you find just one small pot of beans to be shared by so many. This was around 1999, 2000, 2001. Yeah. In my undergraduate days. And there was nothing I could do other than I started, I went in the neighborhood where I lived before. There was this place they called Isheri in Idimu. So buses run from Isheri to Lasso. So in the evening, for about 3 months, I would have to go, and I was conductor. I was an undergraduate then, and then I walk between the hours of 6 p.m. when it's a little bit dark up until 12:01, just to be able to make money to survive. And sometimes when people, I always tell people, one has been through so many things, but against all odds, you gotta put. So I did that, and you can imagine when you are doing conductor, and it's this last route, and I'm studying engineering, and where you are saying bring money from somebody, and you find your fellow undergraduate, Shele, because you be conductor, and you can't argue because some of the guys when I hear them discussing things we do in class, I just begin to feel like I shouldn't be doing this, and and that was one part of my life that was really bad. And funny enough, guess who was the driver?
Who?
My late father. Things got that bad. So
your dad was the bus driver, and you were the conductor, and you were in school.
Yeah. There are so many people when they see me, they hardly. I know some of my brothers also. At that point, we were taking turns. So it was. I did that for like 3 months, and my dad, things would be so bad, and he needs to get the family on. And there was this boss we had some time ago, and so he just sneaks out in the evening. I think he did that for close to 1 year, but I was with him for that period of like 3 months. Yes, one has been through a lot, but things have happened Last time I was here sharing about immigration. Today I'm talking about IT. I know most of my siblings who are in London and in Canada will be hearing this, who have also been part of the conductor journey, will be laughing. My brother who came on last time was one of the guys that does not want to do the conductor job, but he had to do it sometimes because it was for the family. But when we look back at some of those things, we count it all like, man, they were worth it to take us through
Wow,
that
wow, wow,
phase
wow.
of life. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
one is not easy. Conductor care. Those days for Ibadan, with the yap conductors, we they call them condor.
That the phrase, I paste poster for Lagos. In those days when I'm telling you, pasting posters on the streets of Lagos, you run in 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and you get most of these boys who, man, find us something there. Those were all, we needed to just survive, needed to do things that were legit to fund the dreams that were ahead. And thank God they were not all wastes today. Yeah.
So how did you move from the bus conductor to where you are today? Tell us where you are today.
Yeah. Today, I'm an IT. That's generally a tech person. In the midst of the conductor job, I have this cousin of mine, Akin. Akin is my first cousin. His dad happened to be from Adoikiti, and his mom is my father's sister. So Akin was also in the house. He finished from the university and got to the house, and he knew a little of IT. So those moments when he came, so when my dad goes for those jobs, we had to accompany him where he was teaching computing. As at then, I had basic knowledge on office applications, and I graduated to. He was the one who introduced me into IT, from the hardware to software and so many other things. Thereafter, I studied. I completed. I had to try to complete my studies because my father could not fund my school fees from my 300 level, and so I was actually doing one IT thing or the other just to make ends meet, and that's what took me into IT, and I completed my studies in mechanical engineering in Nigeria, and thereafter I got some other qualification in management information system. But the interesting one was when I got into the US, and I got into I'm into application development. Outside that, I run an IT firm which is in Nigeria. It's called Uranium Technologies. It's about 18 years. We render services to IT services to company. I also run Synots Global. It's a fleet. We're into hospitality and fleet management, and also into micro lending. And I also have iMedia Nigeria. It's a media firm which we do a digital media advert that we handle to clients, and that's for Nigeria. And here in the US, I'm dabbling into AI. I actually went to study at MIT, that the prestigious.
That's the best university in the world, bro.
Institute of Technology. So I studied AI with specialty in healthcare, and that is part of what I am sharing to people in Texas Business School when it has to do with AI. And thereafter, in AI and healthcare, which I'm going to be sharing a little more, and a little bit about data science, because I want to use this means to encourage people to get into IT. There is no career in the world today that is as bright as IT. There are no, how do I put it? Could I say jobs? There are no there are more jobs in IT than in any profession today. There are more
Absolutely.
jobs in IT than in any profession. And we are talking about where people get into IT to the back end of what happens, not just the front end of what happens. Like that, the freeze is at the front end with Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. But we say it pays more for people who are behind and you actually power how these things happen. And that's talking about areas like cybersecurity, AI, and some kind of specialized certifications that concerns the industry today. Those are what we are actually seeing. So today I'm also studying Harvard. I'm also taking in Harvard, completing AI in business management. Now, the honest truth is this. I always see if you don't accept that AI has come to stay, I don't really understand. I don't know what to say. With the way the world is running, it's all AI. I talked about this something we did in MIT. As I go on, I'll have one or two persons to share
Their
certain
stories.
things. Their stories and certain things, and when it has to do with IT. There is something there's something called mechatronics. Mechatronics is a combination of mechanical and electrical. So when you bring electronics and electrical together, so you find things like electronics and mechanical, and then which is a little bit different from electromechanical. And there's
What's the difference?
Electromechanical is talking about where electric can bring motion. You have little of electronics there. But when you talk about electronics, you talk about things like ICs. Programs can actually run on electronics. So, but here in MIT, we did what we call biomechatronics. Biomechatronics is where you bring human physiology together with electronics and mechanical. So when you talk about artificial limbs and things that has to do like prosthetics, like I said, for if we are sitting some moment ago that the freeze, you were touching your phone, and at some point you had to start watching. So something sends that signal to your central nervous system, sent that to your hand, and you were able to do this. And so what am I saying now? What AI has done now, even the artificial limb does not work based on buttons. The artificial limbs in AI we have what we call deep learning, where you get into that the human, there are lots of muscles and neurons that comes in this hand, and there is something your brain says, oh, move the hand, and it communicates it in split seconds, and you do that. Now they have been able to use machine learning to read such things that at the end of the day, you can actually have the hand move by function of what the brain is saying. So what are we saying here? One of the places I'm also working on, what I want to talk about here is Texas Business School. Texas Business School is an institute here in Texas. It's a licensed school in Texas where we focus more on giving people functional IT skills or training that will give them their dream jobs or get to that dream area. I'm talking about people who are novice. Now, there's a lot of problem. If you go out there today, a lot of people say IT is one of the most interesting area to get in. But however, you find out that a lot of people go for training, yet they don't get jobs. Now, the problem is that it's either you didn't get the right knowledge, or you got the wrong, it was the wrong person who passed that knowledge to you. And here I'll be having some industry experts who can share their story, and want to encourage you if you want to get into IT. Here in Texas Business School, some of the people, we have some of our facilitators. It's more of IT we're talking about, who are Americans. But I'm more interested in Nigerians who have got stories, who were like most of the people listening here, who are intending to actually get into that higher level in IT. The last time we talked about the EB visa migrating into the US when I came on the last time. And, funny enough, Blake was here, the American guy. So, he told me some guys were commenting in this comment section and they were saying something. So he walked up to me the next day in the office and said, it's a lucky. I heard them. They said, Oyibo. I had to go online and start Googling what these things were and, some of those slangs. So I was just wondering, what other kind of slang they have actually said? When you go there, you could see a lot. So I want to, here Texas Business School. What we're trying to do is this. We have people who are already in the industry. They are practicing, and this applies more to people who are in the United States, Canada, the UK, and all the rest. However, also for those who are in Nigeria, because technology is moving in a fast pace, and there are lots of remote opportunities that we have here. And I think I want someone, maybe any of the persons here to actually tell their story. I don't know if Ernest is here. Please, if you have, I have a number of persons who they were not born in the United States.
What is Ernest's handle? What is Ernest's handle?
Ernest should be any royalty.
I sent him any royalty. I sent him a request. He's not responded.
Okay.
He's here with us now.
Yeah.
Ernest, say hi.
Ernest is one. He's this guy has got to be. When you see, have you seen when people get to like a VP in the industry in an American firm? Ernest has a PhD in cybersecurity. Ernest, we can't see.
Ernest.
Oh, do we have? Can you check for Omo? Is Omo there?
What's Omo's handle? Okay, I'm bringing Omo up. Ernest, I'm taking you down. I'm bringing you back.
Omo is a data scientist,
Yeah. Hello, Omo. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Let me try to realign this stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hi, how are you doing?
Man.
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Go ahead.
Awesome. My name is Omo Ofego, and I work as a data scientist. I am a manager in a consulting firm here in the US. Been working in this area for about 6 years now. I did not start up in IT actually. I started up as a chemical engineer.
Oh wow, tell us about that.
Yeah, so I came to the US over 20 years ago for my undergraduate, and I studied chemical engineering all the way to a doctorate. So I am a doctor in chemical engineering.
Omo has PhD in chemical engineering.
Omo, man.
Dr. Omo, yeah.
So I worked as a researcher in a petrochemical industry for close to 5 years. I considered myself pretty much a lab rat. I was always in the lab doing research, planning experiments, and analyzing the data, and then making decisions from there and reporting it. So when that job ended, kind of unplanned it ended, but it ended. I sat back and kind of took an inventory of what I truly enjoyed doing. And one of it was, what really the thing I truly enjoyed doing was analyzing data. And I have to know that at this point, I had never heard about data science. Never at that point.
Wow.
And a friend of mine just said, hey, you're at home for so long. How about you just go? There's this, there's some courses you can take online just to keep your mind busy. And I went up there and I found this thing about Python. I'm like, okay. Python is a programming language that we use predominantly as data scientists. I said, all right, fine. I've never used the programming language, never had any reason to. And I took it up and just started, learning it. And from there, I, dug into the courses, took, all those courses online, data science courses, learned the whole idea, everything behind data science, really. And just, really started enjoying it, started really getting into it. And luckily for me, I got connected to someone who had a similar journey, transitioning from like a geophysics, a geology background into data science. So he was able and willing to mentor me through my, own training process. So that's why training is very, very important. Having that mentorship is very important, and that's what this Texas Business School is going to offer to anyone who signs up in there. Because it's really good when you have that, you have someone who has walked the same path that you're trying to work, and helps you along, guides you along, helps you identify what courses to take, what kind of projects to do, how to prepare for interviews, what the industry is really looking for, and just kind of guides you in that way. So that's what I had. And
just if I'll come in, one of the interesting things, like what Omar said, is from someone coming from a crude background, the most important thing is she was being guided. And my interest in IT, having been in IT for so many years, I see that being the most lucrative area today is it's one of the reasons is just that if you are taught by, imagine when you are being mentored by someone like Omar, who is in the industry. Let's not talk about the level at which they have been. That's what we're trying to do, to bring people who are like these to mentor Nigerians who are interested in going into IT and getting it right. I don't know. I think there should be. Is there Obiora Murphy?
Obiora
Murphy.
What's his handle?
It should be Obiora Murphy.
Can't see him.
What about official money? Is it _official money?
Not here. Not here.
They're sending me messages. Okay. Okay. NS is saying he's trying to connect, and
I sent him a request. I accepted him. I think there's something wrong with his network. I'm sending him a request again.
Yeah. Official money, if you're there.
All right, we have Ernest in the building. Ernest, how are you doing?
Very well, sir. How are you?
Very well. Glad to be alive. Hope you are cool and kicking.
Absolutely. Finally here. Yeah.
Yeah. Ernest is a doctor in cybersecurity. These are the people who have got to the peak of. I was with Ernest last week, and Ernest was telling me, here in the US, say I want to stop working, and I'm like, have you been in the US for up to 20 years? And it's like, he's got a lot. And Ernest, I think it's up to you. What have you?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Lucky.
Yeah. One of us at TBS is one of the persons at Texas Business School that is teaching. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I'm really glad to be here, Daddy Freeze. Thank you so much for bringing me on board.
You are most welcome.
Absolutely. My name is Dr. Ernest Amoyinegbe. I'm resided here in Dallas, Texas. I am the founder and president of Global Chain Consulting, which is an IT firm providing services in the area of cybersecurity risk management, corporate trainings for both in tech, for both individuals and of course for different companies, helping staff and helping individuals transform and of course come into tech. Proud to be in this space. I've actually worked in different companies, different Fortune 500 companies, such as Wells Fargo, Citibank.
You worked in Wells Fargo?
Yes, for so many years.
Senior,
Oh, wow.
senior.
Yes.
Daddy Freeze, it was senior in Wells Fargo, not just work with Wells Fargo. These are people that a lot of people report to, NS, yeah, go ahead. Sorry for calling you.
The likes of Citibank, the likes of Royal Bank of Canada, the likes of Bank of Montreal, the likes of Ford Corporations, the like of KPMG. I've worked in all of these places, and most of these companies are Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies. All I was basically doing there is everything as pertains to technology risk management, cybersecurity. In my case, I have been in tech for 15 years, right? Right from when I was in Nigeria, I've always been in tech. I did my bachelor's in computer science, my master's in information technology, and of course, PhD honoris causa in cybersecurity risk management. So it's always been my line. When I came to the USA, it was very easy for me to just come and it was a very smooth transition for me. I didn't need to do nothing else or anything like that. Though when I was in Nigeria, I practiced in software development area, like business analysis, tech project management, database administration, but I didn't do anything as regards security aspect of tech. Tech is very broad. So when I came to the US, I made up my mind that I wanted to come into the security side of things. So I attended some courses and then I transitioned. It was very smooth for me. So after doing it for a while, I was like, we need more Nigerians, we need more Africans, we need more Black people to come into this space as well. What can we do to bring up these people? So I started a training program, and then I started training people and bringing them into tech. Today, I can boast of more than 500 people that have gone through my coaching program and are today working in technology, and they're all doing very well for themselves.
And before you go, Daddy Freeze, the last time we had the show, I showed you the Cybertruck guy.
Yes.
He's supposed to come up also. He's into cybersecurity. That's the guy that NS.
Oh, the guy whose house you were in and you were inside the Cybertruck.
Yes, NS taught him cybersecurity. He's also a risk manager. Also a cybersecurity expert like NS. But I hope he could come up official money if he's there. He also just gives us his own story. Yeah, NS.
Yes. So yes,
if you are okay, so that we can get official money. I don't know if Omo can give us a closing word after NS. NS, go ahead.
Yes, so like you were saying, Emmanuel is one of my, my mentees, and I have so many of them like that. They are doing very well today. I've coached people that have also coached other people that have also coached other people.
Wow!
I refer to myself as a great grandfather in this profession. So all of these experiences are what we are bringing into Texas Business School. Texas Business School, I'm going to be one of the co-lead in the Faculty of Cybersecurity, right? So we are bringing on board so many years of valid and tested experience, not just talking. We've done this thing for so many people, so we've got all it takes to bring people on on board and bring them to speed. So that's just
before you still say or almost say something, in cybersecurity, in Texas Business School, I'll also tell you one unique thing that works. We have what we call career services. And what do we do at career services?
That's true. We want to know.
Yeah, what we do in career services is where everyone who has gone through training
will
be fixed. into a job. Now, we have how do we do that? When you come in, we have a list of questionnaire that you're going to answer. We want to know the level of IT that you have, and then we can tell you this is the best pathway. And like I always tell people, there is a place for you in IT, whether in cybersecurity. Everyone must not go into the hard technical art of IT, where you have to program and write codes. Maybe that could be good for people like Omo who want to do Python. But Python is really interesting all the same. But but there's just a place for IT for everyone. And in career services, with people like Omo who have been in data science for some years and also diving into AI, and with Ernest and every other person as the like, interacting with you in class, we have what we call internship. Internship is where you're not in class, you're working. And these are actually done at any point. It could be remote, and we do have a campus here in Texas. But however, because of tech, a lot of people can actually attend and take these courses from wherever. And this is not just the training. Like I said, Texas Business School is a licensed years education. But however, we tailor that to industry requirements, which are certifications that are actually required in the industry. Anything before you say, because I want official money to come up.
Well, I just want to say that this is a good opportunity for anyone who decides to take it on. I don't think you will not be going wrong, getting yourself into this line of this career line. I haven't regretted it one bit. It's been fun all the way.
What are your hours like, Omo?
My hours, so I work as a consultant, so my hours could be a little crazy. We do have the 9-to-5 jobs, those are the core hours. But one thing about being in my area of data science, and really I think IT in general, is that you have to take time for self-development. You have to take time to study, to get your certification. So those are, you can say that's adding to your hours, but those are personal development that no one can take from you, and it just makes you go higher. So, yeah.
What are the certifications, vendor certifications that you have or you have gone through? Some of them.
So I have pretty much all the certifications that have to do with data science and AI from Microsoft. I have Databricks certifications for data science.
Databricks is the number one when it comes to data science globally.
Do you teach people how to use these?
Yeah,
I teach people how to use it. So in my job, I work with people from at different levels in their career on client projects. So I'm constantly to deliver on a particular project for clients.
Yeah, and I think where we have these people more, that if it is where we want people to interface with the industry, we do have other supporting lecturers. Now, what do I mean? You can't go to school and be taught by people who know theories alone. People like Omo, for example, Omo gets in touch with you sometime at the beginning of the class, sometime midway in the class, sometime at the end of the class, and a lot of mentorship and internship, and also with career services. Career means how do you get a job? How do we put you in your internship and all that? It's not every day in class, and that's what people in IT lack. You have people who are good with the theories, but they are not in the industry. And that's what's different here at Texas Business School. We are bringing people who are working in the industry. These guys we have brought here, you see their handles. You can go to LinkedIn. Everybody here is on LinkedIn. So, and you can actually see where we are coming from. And I always say this, for Nigerians and for putting this, I've been training Nigeria all my years. Coming into the US, I realized that we have lots of resources in Nigeria. Now, most of the jobs that have been outsourced to India, Ernest work here. I believe that you are working with chains of people in India. Same with Omo and every other people. Now, why can't we have Nigerians that will be working remotely and earning like those Indians do? The difference is they don't have hands-on skill. Now, why would they take Indians? Now, that's why people like us, we are actually building enterprise. NS is having his. Charles is supposed to be joining. Charles is an Oracle database specialist here he's also in Dallas. And Charles was telling me something when we were together last 2 weeks. He said, the problem is there are no resources, human resources. Why we're saying there are no jobs in Nigeria, we are talking about human resources. And he told me, he said, look, I think we just need to get guys from India. I said, why are we getting guys from India? What's happening to the people in Nigeria? Nigeria people don't get this skill. They know we can build that. And that's one of the reasons why we have this, where we can have people. Now, there are some people who have gone through training. Texas Business School is not just for novice. Some of you have gone through training in Nigeria. You cannot prove what you have learned. I'm being honest. There are lots of people carrying certifications around, but they don't have hands-on skill. And so it's not functional. We still have such place for you, where we can have internship and you can get a feel of the real system. IT is now. I mean, everything is real time. With cloud coming up today, everything is just now. And that's one of the things we are saying to people out there with lots of opportunities out there. So people like Omo, even if they are not always predominantly in class, but even with that busy hours, and that's why most of our classes run after work hours, which is from 5 p.m. US time, or most times Central time. And just for anyone who is coming, for those, when you talk about the class of people we are talking about here, there are people who are in the leading role so far as this career is concerned in the United States. Maybe we can have, I don't know if Manny, official Manny is there at the phrase.
What is Manny's handle? Official Manny, yes, he's right here. But someone has to leave.
Maybe Omo. Omo, are you good?
I'm good. See.
Yeah. So that it is, yes. Omo, thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got official Manny loading up right now to come and tell us his side of this entrepreneurial story. Go ahead.
This is his boss. His boss is here. I think tell us a little of funny enough, most of these guys, we all have come a long way. I remember I met Ernest some weeks ago at a friend's event, and he was telling me, I know you. I said, no, you don't know me. He said, I know you, and because that was the first time we were meeting. And he said, is your office not at Obebi in Lagos? I said, yes. He said, I've been to your office. I know, and he said, oh, that was before I got to the United States. Like I told you, we've been in, for MJs, we've been in the visa program for a while. Ernest got into it. He said, I came to your office then when I was about to relocate. But he got in through some other means, and that's fine. So Ernest, as having known him for then and meeting him again was really exciting, and knowing that he was the one who brought most of the people I know up in cybersecurity. Official man is not there.
It's a small world. And just like you were saying, most of these people today in tech were once in different fields. Like I've trained medical doctors, I've trained lawyers from Nigeria. When you relocate with those type of degrees and you get to a place like the USA, you find it difficult to practice your profession. And you start looking for alternatives. And some of those guys come to me and they will be like, are you sure I can survive in tech? Because I have no tech background. And I always tell them, hey, don't worry, your mindset is what paved the way for you, but you don't have to be ready to pay the price. Nothing comes easy, but you have your role to play. We also have our role to play. And they came into the class, got trained, got mentored, and today they are practicing tech that they never had any background in. It's as simple as that. Yeah.
That is Obiora Mobs there.
Manny has just joined us.
Hello.
Woo, 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 woo. That's the Cybertruck guy.
Yeah, that's IT money. That's what IT can bring. That's the kind of, it's only IT, not medical. No, not nursing.
That is. Very
Brother,
nice.
how far?
I
I gbadun your cyber truck.
I tell you, big ups, man. You dey do
I
the
hear say that
thing,
cyber truck, if you use and power your house, is it true or not? Just bobo that they bobos.
For sure.
Oh wow.
You can power not your house in general, depending on the house, the size of the house, but you can power a lot of things with it. Yeah. It's really fun, self-driving and stuff. Yeah, so it's fun.
You know, when we were driving the last time, you know, he was, when Manny left the steering, I said, Oga, whole steering, no. We did inside motor. Baba no whole steering. He leaves steering. The cyber truck was self-driving. I said, Baba, whole steering. Yeah. Manny, your story could be, cybersecurity and every other thing.
Yes, man. Glad to be here with you guys, man. It's fun. Yeah, IT and cybersecurity is an amazing field. It is something that is, I think, we're still at the tip of the iceberg. That it's going to expand with AI coming through again. So it's an amazing field. Well, my name is Emmanuel Ede. My background actually started in architecture back in Nigeria. I had a small architectural firm, a boutique firm with a couple of my friends back then. So I did architecture in Nigeria for a little while, and before moving to the States, got to America, met this amazing person here, Ernest Amunyinegbe here, who were at some point even actually roommates even when we had moved to America. And coming to America, to break into architecture, it's a very regulated field in America. So you have to go through a ton of licensing, a ton of processes to be certified to practice in America. So I told myself, Omo, if we can't do architecture, we gotta flip. We gotta flip immediately. We don't come America, don't look beach, we don't come to America, I thank, as God will have it, Ernest is a good friend who is also an IT expert. He gave an amazing overview of his background. And so Ernest was the one who, gave me the training and brought me into IT. But before then, obviously, as an architect, I got exposed into IT in general, like using different applications and different systems to practice architecture. So, but cybersecurity is a different beast on its own, in the sense that it's all about basically building or developing measures, tools, systems, procedures on how to protect applications and systems. So what I do is I'm an IT auditor. I work with a Fortune 500 company in America, and basically what we do is, to a layman, it is like a cop, like you're a police officer safeguarding applications and systems, basically. So, and those, what you do is you design, you build those controls around those applications, and you audit them, over time.
But just before you go on that, but I know you're talking about the fees. We brought money into the US visa program.
Are you serious? You brought him into the US?
Money, and that's how, when he got to Ernest and I got to know Ernest and things like that. But we're not talking visa today. But that's one of the things we're just trying to tell a lot of people, that that's where IT is really big here in the US, apart from the fact that that's one of the things that may grant you EB. But there's a unique experience, Manny. Before you came, you lost your mother.
Yeah.
And some of those stories and challenges, I remember. How did that come? There was a story on how we got together, and then, I just feel that what happened before you left could just inspire somebody.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I lost my mom before coming to the States. I was actually driving to Owerri on a business trip when I had Lucky's program on radio. I was with my friend Charles Ibekwe on the car. We're driving to Owerri, and that was where I heard about Lucky.
Maybe on Nigeria Info, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. and I was like, something just connected. You know, in Nigeria, with the whole, there are a lot of people that say a lot of big and bogus things and don't deliver. Especially in this, traveling out of the country, industry. So, but something about the way he spoke, the command he had was just catching to me. And I told you, I was telling my friend Charles, like, I think I'm going to go and hunt this guy out and get this guy to know this guy. So and it turned out amazing. I used to call him my Jesus Christ on earth because
I used that word on Daddy Freeze last week. I said Daddy Freeze now said no, they don't. It's Yeshua. Yeah. Last week.
I got that from patient from my first lady of Nigeria. How's somebody called my Jesus Christ on earth?
You know, when we got the last time I was in Dallas, when we stopped at the, I came with the brewery. There's this designer, the designer guy, House of Brewery. You know, when you came to meet us, and you know, my Jesus Christ on earth, and what's this guy talking about? Like this guy Jesus somewhere here. That's funny.
No. Like, I think personally for me, my life story is a testament of the people I have met along the way. I have been privileged and fortunate to meet the right kind of folks. No man is an island, and that's why I make an effort to create relationships and nurture them. It's very, very important. I met Lucky at a particular point in my life where I was doing all right in Nigeria, but I needed to make that change. And Lucky came along the way, and we've been friends. He's been a mentor to me, just even in the field of, just in life in general. I consider him a very good brother. Met Ernest too, again, at a particular point. We're trying to pivot again. Ernest came through as a brother. We're very good friends. And so it's been amazing.
You didn't use the money for the burial because they had to do the burial. Your mom's burial. I know that. But in fact, one thing I remembered when you came was that, you came to that was in Port Harcourt. He said, blah, 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 blah. But I can just remember he said, I have 2 million.
Yeah.
That's what I can just remember. Yeah. That's all I have. In other words, this is what I need to do this. Interesting. I remember when Manny came in, you have what, when I see Manny staying in a house alone, he stays in a 4-bedroom house alone. But there was a time in the US, how many were you in the room?
Tell us, Manny, how many were you in the room?
Cybersecurity. He got into cybersecurity in the US. So before the thing soft, sometimes it's not like it's always, when he came in, I remember when he came in, he was staying in my house, but because of my family, I said, okay, Manny, go stay with a friend of mine who was in Houston. And then I don't know how. Somehow I went back to Nigeria. Before I could get back, Manny was in Dallas. So tell us the story.
Yes, man, that was a crazy time. Came to Dallas for greener pasture, and so the place I used to stay there was chaotic, to say the least. We were like 11 in that 2-bedroom apartment. It was just crazy. Some of the guys there had some crazy girlfriends who would come and they would call police officer at any point in time. So you have to be ready to jackpot. You don't want to be caught slacking at all. So we were like at one point 11. There was a time we were like 15 even there. And I'm an Igbo boy. Most of those guys were mostly Yoruba guys, and it was fun at the same time. But again, it was the interaction they had with your girlfriends at that time. We were all immigrants. Most of us at that time were still trying to sort ourselves with immigration and stuff like that. And they had this crazy girlfriend. One of the guys there, one crazy girl like that. This girl is mad.
What did the girl do? You never tell us. They tell us say she mad.
We just stay for the house that day. they play. Give me your phone, no give me your phone. Give me your phone, no give me your phone. I saw you talking to this person. You are cheating on me, la 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 la. The guy just grabbed the phone. I don't know how the guy can bend somehow. You're assaulting me, you're assaulting me, you're assaulting me. I'm calling the cops. The cop begin to be beg. The halfway when they just say, I'm beg. Anything when you do today, don't call this police. See, anything when what you want, I beg. Don't call this police. Do not. The girl's like, I'm going to call the cops. I'm going to call the cops. And before you know it, she called the cops. And these guys came with those, you know, those SUVs, those American SUVs, those long, huge cars. They were like drone, like with,
For just assaults.
for assault, commando style.
Assaulting a girl.
The way they came into that house, bunch of like African black guys out of the room. Yo, I did call. I don't sleep well. Sharp. Go stay inside. Cafe. I was watching those on phone. They picked up every single body there. No banner, no, they don't care whether you be student, they come visit your mama, they don't want to know. Everybody straight.
You know, it was, one thing that made me laugh about that story was just saying this was just small assaults. And he said they came with, the policemen came with assault rifle and they were like, if you move, I will shoot you. As in, with lots of F words and screaming on top of their voice because someone called it. But that's it. But Manny is an IT and he's doing really wonderfully well. He's one of the lead lecturers in Texas Business School.
Texas Business School. Tell us a little bit about Texas Business School.
Yeah, Texas Business School is a US-based college. It's a college, and so what do we do? Just like you have the Houston Community College, the Dallas Community College, we have Texas Business School. So it issues certificates and it's licensed by the government. So it's not just a training school. But what's the different twist we are bringing here? The different twist, like here in the US, if you must run a school, there are lots. You don't just jump into training, except people who do online training just without monitoring and quality. If you must be a licensed school, your curriculum and everything must be accessed by the commission. Everyone who is going to be teaching will be accessed by the commission. They will come and inspect the facility. Our facility has been inspected, your classroom, even if you are going to be running online, and every kind of systems you use. So we have actually passed through that. But what's the different twist we are bringing? We are bringing people like Ernest, people like Manny, people like Omo, who are in data science and cybersecurity, to come and interact as field experts and prepare people for the job. Because the reason why people come for this training is the job. And there's one thing that is also done here in the US. As a college, for you to get your license renewed, you must have over 70% of people who pass through your training gain employment. So
Wow.
there is a reporting, yes. There is a reporting back. And so there are number of people. So this reporting must go back to the commission. How many of the people who completed, and that's why complete details. If you are in Nigeria, as the case maybe you are taking that course, some of those assessments come. But most particular attention is placed on people around the United States. But however, same applies because that will actually compile the role. If you have 100 people and 50 are from Nigeria, the question will be, what about those people in Nigeria? Where are they fixed? Can you prove that they are actually fixed by taking this course? So it's not just that, but bringing the industry professionals is the killer for us. I've been in IT all my life, over 20 years. I'm in AI. Imagine sharing a lot of those, what I have learned and what I have practiced over the years. I own 2 IT consulting firms. Here in the US, JMDL is a recruitment consulting firm. Now, people are going to get remote jobs from this. Now, we take other courses, other IT courses. In 2 years' time, Texas Business School is going to be offering courses at master's level.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's actually in that process already. And so what we are trying to bring to Nigeria, I am one of the directors in Texas Business, one of the board of directors, and I'm trying to bring that to Nigerians.
But how did you get to
particularly-
be in the board of directors from Nigeria? How long have you been abroad to be able to achieve such a milestone?
The most important thing is getting people of like mind and people. For example, I'm already at the moment, just like Ernest and Manny and even Omo. Everyone is just trying to protect their employer name. Most of us are sitting in board of companies. I have a board of one of the top in America to be talking to me to sit in their board. Now, the reason is this. Once you have actually gone up in your career, most of us have reasons to be in consulting, changing from one employer to the other, because we are looking at that big opportunity. So it's only people who are like mind that are called together. People like Ernest who are PhD holders in cybersecurity. I mean, he can tell you the kind of hits you get. The US is the largest economy in the world in education, opportunities. I mean, just go online, like I ask anybody, go and check the vacancy that are actually available for people, in the US. I have 3 people in Nigeria. I have one person earning $4,000 earning and is working in the United States. He's living all the way in Bokuno in Ejigo, earning $4,000 in the United States. He's not like staying in Lekki. What am I saying? It's people. There are lots of people in Lekki and other places that are even earning more. I'm just saying that. What I'm saying is, when you get the right skill, you get the right job, and the right skill is from the right people. So that's what Texas Business School stands for. And one of the focus in Texas Business School, we focus on blacks. I'll tell you that if a Chinese teaches you, let's say, machine learning or deep learning, I'm telling you, first you'll be battling with accent. A lot of people who are at the level that we are most of them are Indians. You find few people who are blacks. Now, sometimes people go for training, they can't comprehend just because of accents. Now, imagine me teaching and I'm making illustration. And as I'm making the illustration, I say, for example, in Wendy's, if you buy this and you are in the class, and I mention Wendy for someone in Nigeria, he's seen Wendy as
Chicken.
a car manufacturing shop. So imagine, because some of these illustrations we use in teaching is very important. And when you are taught by people who they are so you don't battle with accent. And that's why I had to bring more of the Nigerians who are attached to Texas Business School. Yeah, we still have like 3 or 4 who are waiting. And I just want people to share their experiences and to let people out there know that it's not just that. I mean, if you want to do IT, I want to tell you, if you're a Nigerian and African, if it's not Texas Business School, looking at what we have actually put in line, I mean, you may get it right, but it's going to be hard looking at what we have in stock for people who will come for this course. Particularly, especially people who are, if you're in the United States, I mean, you should not think twice if you are not fixed in a particular career. But the most important thing, there is a place for everybody. Imagine a doctor coming, like Ernest, you just talked about training doctors. Now, who is the best person that will secure the medical system than a doctor who understands cybersecurity? When I went for my course in AI in healthcare, 50% of the people who attended are medical directors in different medical centers. And apart from the networking, because they need to understand how this works. And that's why there's IT, everyone that's got a place. So that's what we are actually doing at Texas Business School. I don't know if Obiora Moff is there.
For us to bring Obiora, we will have to, somebody will have to come down.
Yeah, Manny.
Yeah.
Because let me have Ernest. Let me have Dr. So last word from you.
Last word from you, Manny.
Yeah. Texas, like you summed it up perfectly. Texas Business School is an avenue for, like you said, people of like minds coming together to impact, and it's good, like you said, we're black centered, and you have people who look like you, speak like you, teach you those things, and it's an opportunity for anybody, anyway, IT is an amazing field. If somebody from architecture, myself, can come in, swoop into IT in less than 6 months, and I was already flying, I think anybody else can do that with the right people teaching you. And that's what this Texas Business School offers you. So, yeah, it's a good time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Manny.
Thank you, Manny. God bless you.
You're still owing me to drive.
Anytime when you show, anytime.
And me too, bruh.
So is Obiora Moff there? Did you see him?
What is Obiora's handle?
Obiora Moff. It ends with a Z. What means there? Did you?
Just in case there are people who are interested in getting in touch with you, what number can we give out to the people? There is no Obiora here. Oh.
It's like it's frozen.
Lucky, he got a phone call. Somebody just tried to call him.
Okay, do you have Charlie Hess? Is Charlie Hess there? Daddy Freeze. Charlie. Is Charles there?
Charlie.
Charlie Hess.
What is his handle?
It's Charlie Hess. Charlie.
Okay, I've seen Charlie here.
Charlie Hess. Yeah, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Hold on. Why is my video not showing? Okay, yeah. Hello, Daddy, please.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Hello, Lucky. Thank you guys for bringing me on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charles, yeah, but just tell us about. I think what is not to tell us about Oracle. It's about your journey. You know, Charles was working as an Oracle specialist already with NMPC. Is he in Warrior Port Harcourt?
Worry, yeah. Worry refinery, yeah.
Yeah, Warrior Refinery. So, you know, but when I was with Charles the last time I was with Charles, and when we were talking, Charles, he was the one that told me. He said, "Look, I think we need to get to outsourcing. We need people that can do these things. I will get people from India." And I said, "No, because I said Nigeria. You know, when you get to Charles' desk, you find so many screens. Charles works remote, and good enough. Daddy, please, Charles, these are the 6-figure guys. Charles, you tell us a little about yourself. But interestingly, Charles, one of the lecturers at Texas Business School, is an Oracle specialist, and that it interests you that we also brought Charles into the US.
Charles, please face the light. Don't back the light. The light is behind you. Try and turn around and face it.
I think,
That's better.
let me see, I think,
Charles, go near the countertop in the kitchen now.
is this better? Or should I just go to the living room?
No, it's okay like this. It's okay like this. Go ahead, Charles.
Sorry. So I'll just give you a very brief story about me. I come from a very low background. My father died when I was very young, back home in Nigeria, and my mother was saddled with the burden to take care of our college. I remember when I was very young, because it was a very drastic change. I have 5 siblings. We had the big farm. My mother had to plant water leaf, and then in the evening we all carry this water leaf and go to the market and sell as we have. So it was a very big struggle. I remember my sister she went through college, and then she took, because we had a lot, I'm a twin. She took the responsibility of taking me and my brother's college and education. So, because I can't call her sister because she took care of me, basically.
You were in NMPC?
Yes.
Oh.
Wow.
Let's talk about a US story. And who you are.
Okay, yeah. And then I remember very well that, okay, fine. I went through school, and then I got employed in NNPC, very fortunately. I don't know if it's Mali that said it. One time, for me, I was already an Oracle software analyst in Bori Refinery. But again, I was very hungry for technology. There were a lot of, very cutting edge technology coming to Oracle that NNPC were not giving us that opportunity to have. So when I heard about, Lucky, I just went through, was it on Facebook? I can't remember right now. And I saw uranium technology. I said, yeah, let me just give this a try. Maybe I can, go and do some cloud courses abroad. And then I traveled to Port Harcourt, and then he had a section, a KT section, and then, it was talking about the IT courses abroad. And then I just got into one of it. And then the story was I came into the US. When I came into the US, it was not also difficult. And that's very important because I have to share this story too. It was very, very difficult initially, but I knew I had the end from the beginning. I knew why I came to the US, which is very, very important that everybody understand that even when you come to the US, it's not an easy ride. It's a journey. Okay, so I knew I wanted to be an Oracle consultant. I knew I wanted to be a cloud. My vision was very clear, very crystal clear. I wanted to talk to all the 500 Fortune company. I wanted to become a senior consultant. So I had already penciled out what I wanted to do right from the onset. So I started my journey. When I came to the US, I got into this house. We were plenty of us in the house. I think we were like 5 of us. It was struggle in that house. Everybody also was an immigrant. I remember when I had it with one of them. I'm this kind of person that because I know what I want, I knew that knowledge is power. I knew that because I'm IT, I need to have continuous knowledge. So I was very intentional about reading. So every night I would put on the light in the night and read. And my roommate that supposedly was the house, and then I came to stay in one of the rooms. He would come into the room and put up the light. So that was part of the struggle I had. And then I knew I had a conversation with my roommate one time. I said, come on, I beg you, no tell this man say I follow pay for this house. So it was very difficult. It was very difficult from the beginning, but because I was very hungry, I knew exactly what I wanted. So I was very persistent. Even when these struggles were coming, I was not shakeable. I knew that this is just temporary. I was definitely going to get what I wanted. And then I was also very consistent. It didn't stop me from, getting knowledge. I know I had to go to the library, to get knowledge. If my home was not convenient, I had to go to the library. So my first job was in Honeywell. The moment my first job was not in Honeywell. I started in a warehouse. I was just receiving $7 per hour. It was very low compared to what I was getting back home in Nigeria. Sometimes I would just go back to the bathroom. I was like, it's a lot of that. Should I go back to this Nigeria? What is this? I got the whole village meeting for my head. My sister said, I've never seen this kind of a man. He has a good job in Nigeria. He just left. There was nothing they did not say. They had to call my mom. My mom called me, I should come back. Why am I suffering like that? Why am I exposing myself? But I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew that there were a lot of opportunities here in the US that I couldn't get. So I was thinking outside the box. Why people were very contented, my sister was very contented with the NNPC job, every other, my colleagues. I was thinking, I knew that if I was persistent and consistent, I was going to break through. So I held on that. I didn't think to no one. I just continued my struggle. So I now started, getting knowledge from Oracle Cloud because that's where I wanted to go. Back home in Nigeria, I was doing on-prem applications. I was managing that database. I was designing reports. I was designing forms. But again, it was an on-prem. On-prem is on the ground. You have servers, you have infrastructure, but everything now has gone to the cloud. You know how you have an iPhone, you're backing your stuff on the cloud and everything. That's how IT has always done.
I think Obiora Morph is there. I think he made the request. So, Charles, you can.
Okay. So,
I know about US, your certifications, and some kind of things.
Okay.
We're enjoying the story, though.
I was very intentional. I started building up certification. I started writing Oracle certification. Within 7 months, I had 14 Oracle certifications.
What?
So I made myself a prize. Now, when I had to put my resume on LinkedIn, companies started calling me. You know, I went from 0 to 100 within 6 months. From $7 per hour, I went to like $80 per hour job. My first job was in Honeywell. They took me as a data analyst. I spent 3 months on that job, and then my next job was in DFW Airport. I was a senior application lead. I had a team that I was managing. So looking at my story, I would be like...
Oh, you worked at DFW, at the Dallas Airport?
Yeah, I was a senior application lead. I had like 5 people reporting to me, and I was the lead for the reporting team. So I, you know, and I was, and that is why when they say knowledge is power, I truly believe it. I was speaking
100%.
Decision makers, I was speaking to them. I was exposed to very sensitive information that people were not exposed to because of my level of knowledge. So I would tell people acquire knowledge, and from there, the sky was my limit, you know, because I became a senior consultant with Terrilium, you know, and as a senior consultant, I was involved with different projects with different clients. So I've really gone very far with IT. And how did I get the knowledge? I'm very intentional in what I do. You know, when I'm speaking in my company, people respect me. How did I get there? Knowledge, IT. IT is the only field that can give you that transition within a shorter time. No other field. Back home in Nigeria, even though I was in NNPC, well, they say when you're in NNPC, there was so much bureaucracy. Somebody will just he doesn't even know nothing. They'll put him, because of maybe he's from this part of Nigeria, he becomes your boss. But here in the US, you know, you're just based on your competence. You're just based on what you know. You know, you speak and people listen because, of course, they don't know what you're speaking. You're speaking all those terms, so they look at you like one kind of expert, one juju. So you're speaking power.
Funny enough, imagine interacting with people like Charles Charles, you know, that people don't need to go through the same stress because with training and guidance, people like this, it's really, really easy for you to transition. And that's what I think. Do you know the US? I don't know if it happens in Nigeria. It only happens in Nigeria at maybe at C-level, chief information, chief financial and other. But in the US is where I see when you have skills, employers will be talking to you on LinkedIn. As in, you didn't apply for job. Ask these IT guys. I don't know if other professions. I don't think other professions have such kind of opportunity. It's only here that I was telling my wife to come. My wife is an SAP consultant with Deloitte, and I said, "Come up." And she told me, "No, she doesn't want." I said, "You don't want to share all the wonderful things that you are doing in Deloitte." She said, "No, I don't want to talk on. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to say here. But these are jobs come every now and then hitting because of the relevant skill that the people have, and that is what we are trying to bring to people at Texas Business School, irrespective of where you are, in London, in Canada, and that's what we are doing. And that because I don't know if you can bring Obiora more.
Yeah, somebody has to leave. What is Obiora's handle? I've seen Obiora Murphy, but someone has to leave.
Yeah, any one of us with the final word? Anybody?
Just the final word. I think I have 3 metrics for success. You need to be very hungry. Hungry is not just about food. You need to always wake up in the morning, read, study, you need to be very craving for what you want. Then you need to be persistent. Understand that obstacles will definitely come. Don't be shakeable, be unshakable, and then you need to be consistent. Step by step, you get it. So these are my final words.
Thank you, Charles. This is a
All right.
senior Oracle man, and he's also one of the teachers in Texas Business School. Our classes is just 1 hour per day. Don't want to stress you with so much because this is IT. Charles, thank you. So, Isobia Moss, we'll see the boat cruise.
Charles, God bless you.
Amen.
The boat cruise. That's the guy coordinating the boat cruise.
I'm trying to see how to leave. I don't know how to do this. How do I leave?
Just press X. Press X.
Okay. So, cybersecurity boss. Obiamov, is he have you added him, DF?
I'm waiting for, you have to give it like 30 seconds when somebody goes. If not, it will hang.
Oh.
All right, I've invited Obiora Moffs.
Ernest.
Yes.
There are some projects that you have. Ernest is building too many, and I know that a lot of students who are coming in, because you've had lots of experience, they want to. I know you may just share. You may share some of it. Obi.
Yeah, absolutely. I do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, we're in tech today. That's the reason why I just decided to leave everything within the tech space, right? So in my area as well, we have a lot of projects. We help people develop AI applications, right? Because we are in the AI age.
Yeah.
And the next billionaires, the next multi-millionaires that will be springing up in the next few years are going to be AI billionaires.
I'm having some technical issues here. We can hear you.
We can hear you and see you clearly. You have eaten the whole food in America. You have not left any for us. If we are coming to this America to come and...
That is not funny enough. Obiora, when last did I see Obiora? I think it's like, how many years? It's like 10 or 12 years. Yeah, that I saw him. And that is funny enough, the gentleman before he speaks, this was my intern some 15 years ago. He was an intern working for Uranium Technologies. He's currently in Alberta in Canada. He's one of the teachers. He's a cybersecurity expert. He's one of the persons that will be teaching at Texas Business School. Obiora, welcome.
Obiora, well done. You're too fresh. You should add fresh to your name.
Nice to see you. Where do I start from? I guess I used to listen to Cool FM back in the days, and this is way back in the days, and nice to.
I thank God. Say we say if they do well, if not, we'll not be like dinosaur where they watch that. Yeah. Because the kind of successful people I have on my life now, Go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, I'm just getting used to the whole platform, but I listened to Charles. I listened to Charles speak, and Charles has very interesting conversation. I enjoyed what Charles said. For me personally, my story is very different from his. The story is very different, but before I get into details with my own story, I guess I just want to continue from where he stopped. He was talking about the value of hard work, being able to work hard, be persistent, be consistent in all you do. What I was thinking about is the value of mentorship. There's only so much that you can do. You see, for just like Lucky mentioned, I was his intern.
Go back 15 years ago. So we've been in this space in the last, 15 years. There's a difference between what you can do on your own if you're a smart person and what you can do if you have people to guide you, people that have been around in this space to show you the ropes, and you can go faster along that way. For myself, when I left Nigeria in 2013. I used to be in IT, working with Ogaloki, doing IT related stuff. I wrote my first certification exam in 2010 in Lagos. That was a CCNA certification. I wrote my Microsoft certifications back then. And when I left Uranium, I went to Melbourne, Australia. I completed a degree in bioinformatics, and I worked as well in that field. I did some consulting in Melbourne, and then I left Melbourne 2017, came to Calgary, Canada 2018, and same thing, consulting. I worked in Deloitte. PwC, Pricewaterhouse. Currently, I work
Pricewaterhouse in Nigeria or in the US?
Consulting for them, just for sensitivity purposes. I'm someone that I don't come up a lot. It's very hard for you to come on the internet and see anything about me, any post or any, because I barely come online just because of the kind of life I live and what I do.
But then that if you say, is it PwC in Nigeria or where? That's what I was asking. He said you work with PwC. He said where?
There's a bit of silence.
Yeah, I said that if he's
sorry about that. So
I said that if he's asked when you said you work.
No, PwC here in Canada. I was here in PwC Canada for a couple of years. I was in Smina. Smina is a logistics company. We're doing consulting in Melbourne. I was there for a couple of years as well. And then when I was in Melbourne, there's this agri-biotech associated with Latrobe University in Melbourne, Australia. And here, currently, I work with the government, like I said, and I just do my own thing by the side as well. It's one of those things. So let me come back to the story that Charles was saying. Charles was talking about the value of consistency and hard work. People have different stories. Some people start from very low, and then they come here and they get to the very top. And still yet, when you come here, irrespective of where you find yourself in, I tell people something. I was privileged to read a book. The name of the book is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I read that book while I was still in uni back in Nigeria. And one of the things that I read in that book was begin with the end in mind. So what this means is that from where you're starting, you need to think of what's the end point of what you want to accomplish. So when you have a clear indication, a clear idea of what you want to accomplish, you don't have to waste time doing things that are really irrelevant. You just focus on the real thing, do what you need to do, and get started and get going with that particular thing. So that's one of the things that have helped me in the different choices that I've had to make with my career options, with my business options, with my entrepreneurial expeditions and all of that. So at this time, I'll be one of the lead faculties in cybersecurity, with Texas Business School. So with regards to certifications, I know that one of the easier certifications that I had that is cyber related is CompTIA Security Plus, which I got a couple of years back, 6-7 years ago. I just did it for the sake of doing it, just because
I just wanted to see what's in it. But then again, there are lots of other certifications that I've been able to pull as well. I don't get to pull all of them on my LinkedIn. If you check my LinkedIn, you'll barely see anything. But if I do put in my resume there, all the things that I do have, I can put it in there. But beyond certifications, I believe that there's a lot of value in practical knowledge. So apart from what someone can decide and say, I'm a smart person, I want to go in, I want to write exams, I want to pass all these exams, that ability on your own to have someone to guide you, have someone to mentor you, have the ability to, on your own, set up a home lab. Maybe you have set up a lab at home, maybe on your VMware, on your virtual machine, to be able to do things on your own, just have that knack to do things on a practical level. Those are the things that will really set you apart. And so part of what you're going to learn is, apart from learning stuff, writing exams, the ability to set up things at home which you can speak about. Maybe you have a GitHub page, or you have labs that you've done where you have that experience. You can come in front of anyone and explain and say, oh, I've done this, oh, I've done that, oh, I've done the other thing. Those are the very things that will really set you apart, as against just, being able to study on your own and pass an exam. So, I think, Lucky, I don't know, should I continue, or do you have other things you wanted me to talk about?
Yeah. It's like you're delaying, and so it takes some while before you hear. I wanted you to just say a little about that foundation in IT. We knew back in Enugu, and that was when we were at Uranium Technologies, because we had an office there. So, what would you say at that start? Because that was where it was sparked. So, there are people who are at that stage in their lives where they are just trying to see, they only can use office applications. And because cybersecurity looks like one big monster, there's somebody read business administration, and you're saying go into cybersecurity. And someone did theater art, and you're saying, so how you broke through that? For me?
Okay.
I think Obiora,
you're hanging.
Yeah, I think his network is fine.
It's delayed.
Yes. Maybe I think because of that delay we could.
Basically, I don't know. When we started, so my first degree, interestingly, is in agriculture. So that background is very different.
Oh, Obiora is gone, I think.
Obiora. How can Canada people not have good network?
It's Soji Olat there. That is it. Soji Olat. That's the last person I have.
Soji. Soji, send me a request. What is his handle? I can't see it.
Soji_Olat.
He's not here.
Okay, it's Obioha Zewata. Is he here? That's the Obioha. Not Obiora, Obioha.
Not here.
Okay, but I'll just give our phone numbers if any of those people find it, because I wanted to bring in, if you want any of this training in Texas Business School, you can call us at 281-697-6361, and that's 01, so +1 281-697-6361, and you can go to Texas. At the moment, we have texasbschool.com. It's going to be changing to texasbschool.edu in a few weeks. In a few weeks, it will be .com. At the moment, it's texasbschool.com. It's going to be texasbschool.edu. But at the moment, I think those have actually been put there. I want to see what's the interest and what are we looking at Texas Business School and why are we different? We are bringing in the field, we are bringing theory and practice because IT is all about practice. And sometimes when I sit in front of the screens of people like Ernest having multiple screens in front of them doing so many things and they just do it with such ease. I just see that it took years, but you don't need to take such years to accomplish such, and that's why we are bringing this program, which is we are
Okay, so who are we
introducing
bringing up now, brother? Sorry, don't be angry.
It's Sergio Lads.
All right, Sergio Lads is right here.
Yeah, Soji is in Nigeria. Soji is the only facilitator we have who is in Nigeria at Texas Business School. He's the only person who is teaching IT with us here. Soji. So, like I said, what we're trying to bring is to bring the field together with theories. For those people who are in Texas, you can physically attend programs at the address have been put there, 9950 West Park Drive. That's where we are, 9950 West Park Drive, and it's in Houston, 77063. That's where we have Texas Business School campus. I'm there at the moment. We have classrooms here. But however, majorly, because it's IT, most of these things are actually done online. And we do have hybrid programs. These programs are also open to people who are in Nigeria. With some, if you are from Nigeria, I mean, there are different variations in cost of training based on location, and those are actually controlled by the system. But if you want to get quality and IT and interact with people who are in the field, the primary reason of doing this and putting this and making it Pan-African is just because we want to take the jobs from the Indians. And I tell you, you can't come here and not get it because we are very, very intentional. Some courses are 3 months, some courses are 1 month, while others could be as long as 6 months. But however, coming into this program, and it should be people who are interested in IT. First, the interest has to be there. I mean, you need to be interested in IT or a better life, if I'll put that. But however, there's a little work. You must dedicate up to 1 hour a day, and maybe some hours during the weekends, and you can take that. And just since do we have any of the persons of that phrase?
Soji is right here. Sergio Lads, please accept. Who else apart from Sergio Lads?
I should have Obi or her.
Obi or her. Okay, Sergio Lads is with us. Hello, Soji. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Hello, Daddy Freeze.
How are you doing? Go ahead.
And hello, Lucky. It's nice seeing you here.
And I never knew that they have all turned grey. I never knew.
I'm competing with Abraham now. I'm hoping Daddy Freeze will be like me very soon.
How are you doing, bro? Even me, I don't they join you. I don't they grade they come.
We are the grey.
Yes. It's IT that is causing it. So thanks for having me. It's a privilege, and my name is Sergio Lajide, and I am a Microsoft solution expert and technical lead. At Texas Business School. It's really a privilege having me here. I've heard a lot from your guests, and honestly, it reminds me of how I actually started my journey. I find something very interesting when Mr. Lucky said some things and some other people. I remember when I started my own journey too in IT. It was kind of very funny. I remember the first I met a friend, Ifine, way back in Kaduna. like as you all know, I'm in Nigeria. So he told me about the scholarship, a scholarship exam they were going to be writing back then. And I told him that I don't have all that kind of money to even if I pass. I mean, how am I going to be able to pay for those kind of tuition fee and all that? I remember way back then it was NIT and all that. So I took a step of faith. I wrote the exams and I passed, and I found myself in NIT back then. And that was how I started my journey. And after my NIT, I worked with a training firm, and gradually I started getting my certifications, in like my MCSE, MCBBA, all of those certifications. So I actually started there. And I remember something very important. One of the things that actually challenged me was I came across, and this was my uncle. He's late now. He happened to be in the military, and I saw one of his military magazine, and I read something very interesting. I read a very powerful statement by Pratt and Whitney. It's one of these aeronautical.
Yeah, they build aircraft engines.
So I saw something very, very interesting. He said, "You can't stand tall if you stand still." He now wrote the power of readiness. I'm like, this is quite interesting. You can't stand tall if you stand still. The power of readiness. And I had always had passion. I love training. I love imparting knowledge, into people and all this kind of stuff. And that's how I started. And
so those trainings you have done. I mean, I saw a lot of Nigeria. In fact, most of what are those institutions that you trained in IT? I mean, that you don't train the part.
Yes.
I know Nigerian Navy is there. I know.
Yes.
What's the
CBN? Let me even tell you one. Let me tell you something very interesting. Yes, I've been privileged to train for all of organization. CBN. ECOWAS, Chevron. Name them. Bank of Industry. Just name them.
And what are you training them on?
Okay, so a lot of technologies. I do even cybersecurity trainings. Microsoft trainings. I do things like Server 2019, SQL Server related trainings.
Go ahead.
TMWeb this year.
Reduce the technicals.
Yes. So a lot of those trainings, like even like your what do you call it? Like your CGIT, CRIX, all those kind of related trainings. And strangely, there was a time I was actually privileged to do one or two things, even with the United States Navy when it came over to some exercise with Nigerian Navy. I was able to participate with them based on some IT related tasks. So my journey has been quite interesting. And there was a time I also met with our professor here. I call him Professor, Mr. Loki. And
no, I'm not a prof. I'm a businessman.
Okay.
I'm just supposed to be in IT.
I think it's trying to keep a low profile. So actually, that's my journey, And one of the things I like to encourage people is that regardless of where you are, you can always start somewhere. And my advice is, yes, you can always start somewhere, and it's never too late to be right. And my advice is, one of the things I tell people is keep learning. Try to join communities. And one of the things I would advise people to do is to also engage in certifications. Try to write certifications, because it's one of those things that you need to do that will kind of help you gain recognition, worldwide recognitions. So
yes, maybe before we end this live, is you have.
Before we go any further, can we give out our number, because there's so many people who are interested in getting the certifications? Can somebody type the number so we can pin it?
So is anybody on live? The number. Better still. Let me put my number for WhatsApp, please. If you must talk, because this number is the office number that we're giving. I'll put that 281. Okay, 346.
Okay. Is that the number Kamaruddin posted?
I wouldn't know. What's the number?
604631.
6361. No.
No.
I
Okay.
just pinned my number. So if you do a WhatsApp message to me, Daddy, please, you could pin my number.
Okay, so let me pin your number.
So
The number is 346 668 5436. 346 5436. Just think of 34 Antichrist 85 436. That is 34666 85436. Get your pen and a paper now.
you know,
Get your pen and a paper now. 3685436. All right, continue as we round off.
yeah, you know, you see, in the United States, under the Department of Homeland Security, which I discussed last time, apart from the custom and border protection, immigration and custom enforcement is ICE, they have a body called CISA, certified. It's an if not the CISA as the EC Council. CISA is a body. I've forgotten the meaning of that acronym. It's an agency under the Department of Homeland Security.
It is called the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency.
Thank you. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency in the US. Now, the US as a country protects everybody apart from government facilities. Now, what it means is that the US understands. It's unlike, the US has a very robust IT infrastructure being managed by the states. Now, what I'm just trying to bring up, now when you want to do a training and you come to Nigeria, and you want people who will be able to engage with you with technologies that are recent, like the U.S. military, which is like the U.S. Navy, which is almost the highest with respect to security around the world. I'm just trying to give it up for people like Soji that will go and engage with the U.S. Navy. It doesn't take anybody to be in such kind of training. Just to let people know that the kinds of people that you're interacting with are people who have they are in the industry. And so this may not be for everybody. It's for people who are willing to really learn. But when you learn, like I tell my staff, most of the time, every Friday we have what we call a town hall session with I have about 5 companies, and so everyone must come together, and we have that. I always say, don't work for money. I know most of you are earning well, but if you are here working for money, you'll be losing. However, work to add value, because that value is going to be adding value to yourself. So same thing here for anyone that wants to come into this course. We are trying to build a hub for Africans, and this is also part of the course that we are looking at for people who are actually trying to go for the EB program. So imagine taking a course like cybersecurity with Texas Business School. That's part of the certificate you can tender as going through a course in cybersecurity or AI for your EB1, and that's the permanent resident visa we talked about for people who are qualified. Remember, in the US, there's high priority on IT. You can go and check that. There is an AI. For example, there is a strict clause for immigrants that are coming into the US that there is preference for people who have expertise in AI. And we are trying to tell people it's not just about coming to the US, it's about hitting the big box. For all the guys I've talked about, that we've talked with today, there's not all of them are 6-figure. That if when we talk 6-figure, we know say, they are, some of them are trying to approach trying to add the other figure to it in dollars, and having knowing them from where they are, especially those without IT or those who had IT and they had to add some little spice to it, and seeing what they have become today. That's why it was really exciting for me and for the board of Texas Business to collaborate with all these guys to see that we can bring quality IT skills and training to blacks who are in America, in Canada, in the UK, in Nigeria, and anywhere in the world. So that's it. So you can hit me up on WhatsApp on that number. Calls, I may hardly take calls. Not that I don't take calls, but too many of them become. I could easily refer. Give you the office number. But we're always here, and don't forget that for some of you who listened to me last week, I know a number of you were talking. It's still the same number. For those of you who are thinking of migrating to the US, with what we discussed the last time as professionals. And some people ask, sorry, and I think yes, those people joined here. Some people say, is it just for entertainers and IT, which we discussed last week? No, it's for every profession. It's just that there is a little preference to people who are in IT because of certification. The regulation in IT is vendor. But if you come as an architect, you need to certify here. If you come as a doctor, you need to. So some of us took certifications from Nigeria, and we may not go further. I have a lot of them. So certifications are universal because they are vendor controlled. And we are encouraging people to get into IT with Texas Business School so that you can get, one, you are getting a US qualification. So understand that it's a US institution. And then you are also interacting with people. The purpose of this course is not qualification. It's the job. And that's why we have these guys and many others. You can visit our website. You find a lot of other of our facilitators who are in this with us. TexasBschool.com is the website. Like I said, in a few weeks, it's going to be texasbschool.edu. But that's what it is at the moment, texasbschool.com. Ernest, thank you for coming on. Last word from you, and maybe last word from Sochi.
Absolutely. All I just want to say, you've said everything, is for people to think, know what you want, and act. You know, it's sometimes you just think and never act. You procrastinate and time keeps going. So think of what you want to do, determine what you want to do, and start acting immediately. That's all I've got to say. Thank you very much for having me.
Soji, anyone?
All right, so like I said, make sure you keep learning, and make sure you pick up the challenge to keep writing certifications and try to ensure that you get your place to places you can practice the skills that you've acquired, and you'll be great. Thank you.
And that place is Texas Business School, because after training, we have internship, which means there are some people, if you have trained, you could come to Texas Business School and take only the internship. And I tell you, it's a very big one from us. Don't forget, you can hit me up on the number, is there, and you can visit our website, which is texasbschool.com. Daddy, please, thank you. Finally, I would say, I will tell my wife, maybe next time I come on, I want her to come. She said, she's home, and I'm like, you have to join this. My wife is a senior consultant. But some people, and she's a friend with Omo, and I said, why not come on? She said, I want to spoil your life. I don't want to come in front. I'll be teaching in class. I have all I'll be doing. All what I'm going to. She's worked in so many companies, consulted for so many of them. I'm currently with Infosys. But those are people and the likes that you'll be interacting with. But next time, I hope she'll talk. She'll say something just to encourage somebody. Thank you, Daddy Freeze.
All right, I have something to say. A lot of you are in America or abroad and you didn't get it right. It's okay. Nobody go buy you now. Some of you, they do afford for a walk. There's nothing wrong with getting into America and washing a couple yashis here and there for old people. There's nothing wrong with it. It's when you are still doing it 10 years later that it becomes a problem. Somebody who said there's dignity in labor. Is that the kind of labor you choose? Do you really like old people that much? So they hungry you to the wash. You understand? I have a friend when we're in university, he worked in a mortuary, a morgue. So anytime we're on holidays, he'll go abroad, and he got really good at being, there's a name for those people they work for mortuary. Wait a minute, their name. I beg, there's a name for the career. So mortician, yeah, but he was like an assistant mortician. So if we go on holiday those days, if he come back with like 20,000, 30,000 pounds, You understand what I'm telling you? He drove the nicest cars in school, had a lot of nice clothes and everything, but he cannot, that's not, you don't want to be washing by body for the rest of your life. It's nice when you are in school, you understand, and you cash in and you bring the money, and you buy cars, but you see, he eventually transited into buying cars and selling in Nigeria, buying cheap tokumbos in Belgium and bringing to Nigeria, buying engines and bringing to Nigeria. Then eventually the money he used to start a real estate business. You understand what I'm telling you? So there are some businesses you do just to get by. There are things I did in my 20s that I will not do now. Not because I'm proud, but because I've built myself. There was a point in my life when the greatest source of income for me was voiceovers. I used to charge 15,000 naira when dollar was 150 naira. So I used to charge $100 for a voice. And in a week, I can do 10 voices. That would be like $1K dollars. But you see, voiceovers don't pay that well anymore now. You understand what I'm saying? Voiceovers don't pay that well. I have to transition. So there are some of you listening on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram. And what you're saying is, Baba, these people, look, you will not understand until you start getting close to retirement and start getting close to desperation.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have, I say this all the time, Daddy Free is not responsible for decisions you make because of the people you see on my live. I'm not a financial analyst. But I can also tell you that there are people who have tried, put a call through, asked questions, received guidance. Lucky here has brought in, how many people have you brought in tonight from Nigeria to the US?
I can't count. I can't count.
Up to 100.
Of course, over. Even in Canada, in the UK, I was supposed to have one of the guys, two guys from the UK. They are working as professional IT. One is with Deloitte in the UK. I mean, they were supposed to join this live, but you know, they are also teaching in this program, but we are particular with more people around the US today. So there are a number of people that should have been added. Just like you said, Charles was in $7. And from $7, after scaling up, he moved to $80. Let's not talk about what he's earning now. People like NS, we shouldn't even go there. Let's not even go to where they are. So it's about transitioning, like you said, that phrase.
And that is all that the conversation is about. Are you interested in transitioning? Do you want to give this a try? +1 34 666 85436. I'll take the number again in a few moments. You could get a pen and a paper. Transitioning is about you moving from where you start. You cannot be where you started 10 years later. It's failure. You can do anything. You can park cars as a valet. You can wash toilets. You can be a janitor. You can wash my body. You can do afo for a walk. Anything you can do it. But should you be doing it 10 years later? Unless you have a passion for it. There are some people who love old people and just want to take care of old people and make sure they're okay. You get passion for them, no problem. But if you did it to survive, you shouldn't be surviving 10 years later. You should be striving. So have a conversation with these guys. It might just be what you're looking for. +1 34 666 85436. I'll take that number again. +1 34 666 85436. Thank you so much, everyone. God bless you. Lucky, hope to see you again real soon. And my lovely brothers, remember the number is +1 34 666 85436. Take care and God bless.
Thank you. Please make them. You can follow me on Lucky_Felix2.
Lucky_Felix2 on Instagram. Lucky_Felix2 on Instagram. Take care and God bless.
Thank you.